10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, everybody. It's Lori Peterson with the Capital Film Arts Alliance's CFAA Film Talk, our webcast that keeps everybody connected, lets everybody know what's going on in the Northern California film community, and for the good of filmmakers everywhere. What we're trying to do is just make sure that you guys are all continuing to connect, even if it's not in person right now, with any kind of virtual environment. So this is what we got to do right now. And if this is your first time, let me tell you a little bit about, who we are and what we do. So the CFAA, the Capital Film Arts Alliance, is the association for active filmmakers, writers, actors, and crew in the Northern California region. What we want to do is make sure that everybody is connected and everybody's voice is heard. So we advocate for film. Some of the work that we've done recently has included to, get approved, recruit and hire our new film commissioner, Jennifer West. We are actively involved in that program, making that happen. And, everything that we do is really coming back to the community. So we have membership fees that people can pay. Normally when we have in-person events, that gets you into our events. Everything that we're doing online right now, we're not charging for. We haven't put together a program to charge for this yet, but it's not as important as keeping everybody connected. If people can donate or if they want to join and show their support of the CFAA, our website, you can reach everything through that, and it's capitalfilmarts.org. Capitalfilmarts.org, you can see behind me. So anyway, we have so much active production going on right now. We have films that are finishing. We have films that are just releasing. Congratulations to the team of Notorious Nick, which was probably one of the best feature films that I've seen produced locally. And it contains the work of some of my very, very, very favorite people that I have worked with directly since way back. So it was very much a proud parent moment for me. And all of the producers, Mark S. Allen and Howard Bird and Sally Forcier, the director Aaron Leong, the director of photography, Brian Ham, so many people that are in my heart. So congratulations to all of you. Anyway, I want to make sure that we get on with who we're talking to tonight. We've been having a little bit of internet glitchiness, so we're trying to find that problem. So forgive us if that strikes, because it doesn't matter how beautiful your set is. If you have shitty internet or if it's glitchy, it's glitchy. That's just all you can do. So bear with us. And what we have tonight is going to have a conversation with Gina Scheiber. Gina is a renowned makeup and effects artist whose work has been seen in a lot of different programs and competitions and things that have really, actually, I don't know if it's a competition she's done. She can tell us all about it. But her transformations, whether it's from just a plain face into something to depict a character, or just bring out beauty or decay, whatever. And then also to create these really horrible bloody wounds and facial, just destruction, things that I nightmares are made of. And she's extremely talented in doing that. She is actually somebody that she's kind of the go-to person for a lot of the local stations to bring in during the Halloween holidays, and give a demo of what can be done and how it's how it's done, and she does these live performances. She's also going to be featured at the upcoming Sinister Creature Con. I want to give them a shout out. That's taking place on Sunday, this Sunday the 15th. Look online or on Facebook, and they have an incredible lineup. I'm hoping that Tim, the director, can come online with us today and talk a little bit about it. But, you know, all I can tell you is if horror is your jam, the Sinister Creature Con and anything that he's producing is definitely where you should be. So without any further ado, I want to introduce Gina, and Gina and her assistant is going to be sitting in while she does some demonstrations and talks while I kind of bend her ear and we can learn a little bit more about her. So.
Is it working now? The internet?
Yay, yes! Yes!
Yay!
Oh
There's
my
my
God.
lovely husband. He's amazing. Thank you, Nick.
Nick the cable guy. I love that. Oh my God. Yeah, that's perfect. I was saying, I saw this really great workshop on how to hold a great streaming show or what you need to do. And they were talking about equipment and lighting and hundreds of dollars of things to make it work. And in that same demonstration, their internet glitched. And so I was like, dude, you really can't promote spending hundreds of dollars on equipment when you can't control the gods of the internet. So
right. I was just so proud that I was able to log into this stream. I felt like a genius. I was like, I am a genius.
Yeah, now you can talk. Now you can go, oh yeah, I did that. I was doing it. Yeah, that's not
easy breezy.
No, we transferred all that stuff and we did that. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I really, I think the most interesting thing, other than what we're going to do, on Isabella here, who is willingly
Thank
putting
you for being my model, by the way.
Yes, yes. Depending on how you're going to do her up, we got to take her out somewhere to either.
Oh, we're going to go scare some little children later, probably.
You can scare. Okay, we're doing
the
a scare.
The little children being mine. They're not scared of anything anymore, though.
Oh, I know. I hate to waste a good makeup. You got to figure it out. Go over to 7-Eleven tonight before you go. Get your Slurpee and just,
We'd get arrested.
Oh.
Well, thank you for having me on, Lori. This is fun. I love it. I love being creative and talking to like-minded people.
And it's so important that people know who's in their community, because we're getting a lot of work that's starting to crop up in the area. And, even with the variant, right now it was like everything shut down and then it came back so very slowly and so restricted based on COVID compliance. And then as it loosened, it was like, man, the gun went off and production went crazy. But also a lot of things that people have been working on, finishing editing, doing post-production. Right. Now they can have plans to release it. So we're getting all of this incredible information from people that are working in our region, but not always working in our region. They have
definitely,
and they live in Sacramento. They would love to work in Sacramento if the kind of work that they needed to support themselves was always here. And that's what we really want to get to, is have a community where we have that kind of work for everybody.
Right.
And we have the ability for them to not have to, travel, 6 months out of the year in order to do the job that they would love to do at home.
Yeah. Now we just have to keep our fingers crossed we don't get shut down again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And we have to have a lot of patience, because even in a perfect world, if things were opened up, patience is just critical. We can't open it up and go, full force into it. And I think that's going to be a tough thing too, is because everybody's just chomping at the bit. But it's just exciting to really hear, like I said, we did the premiere screening for Notorious Nick this week. Several people are now pushing their films into production or trying to take it into the next step now that they see things opening up a little. So hopefully
it's so
that'll be
exciting.
the
I
case.
know.
Yeah.
I want to see that
me?
film.
Oh my God, it's so good. And I actually think it's available on Amazon Prime to rent.
Yeah.
It is playing through tomorrow night at the Country Club Cinema over at the Country Club Mall.
That's
It's a very
great.
nice little
Yeah.
luxury cinema, very comfortable. And if anybody wants that theater experience, you can still check it out there. But yeah, they did an incredible job. And that's the kind of thing where have you done that type of work? I want to know more about the work you do, because obviously, and I was very careful when I was putting on my makeup tonight. Let me just tell you, because I thought, oh my God,
stop.
if ever anybody I'm talking to, I am going to wear lipstick today.
I love it. No, I honestly, it's funny. So effects, we're kind of going into my effects season, where now that I'm, here locally, when I lived in LA, it was more on set working, doing that. But now that I'm here, I'm more beauty. I'm doing a lot of weddings. I still, love hanging out with the local film, industry here. And, we have some mutual friends in that realm. But yeah, I think more of my effects now is geared towards like Halloween season.
Yeah.
And, it's like my favorite time of year. So
yeah.
So tonight I'm going to be using a prosthetic by FX Faces, and I'm going to just start doing a live demo. I'm going to show you guys how, we glue these pieces on and we paint them, and we turn this beauty into a monster.
So tell me, if you can talk while you work.
Yes.
So what got you started, and what direction has your career taken you to this point, and where do you want to go? That's what I wanted, the big picture of what I want to hear from you about.
Yeah. So when I was in high school, I was involved in theater, and I had the most amazing theater teacher. Her name was Miss Rayleigh, and we're Facebook friends. Hopefully she's watching tonight. And
Hi, Miss Rayleigh.
Hi, Miss Rayleigh. we did a lot of plays. We did a lot of competition shows, and I loved acting, but it just wasn't my niche. It wasn't like, something that I get stage fright really easily. So, but I've always loved art. I feel like I'm really right-brained. I'm art by nature. And she is the one who was like, have you ever tried makeup? Like, we're doing, all these productions. Why don't you help me out in the makeup department? I'm like, cool. I loved it. I loved it so much. And she actually hired someone from Makeup Designery, which ends up being the school that I go to after I graduate. And she brought them into, our little theater company. And he taught me so much about stage makeup. And I was like, oh my gosh, you can make money doing this. This is so fun. So of course I, graduated high school, packed my stuff, moved straight to LA, and I went to Makeup Designery, and it was just honestly the best decision, I think, of my life. I got to meet a lot of people that, again, were like-minded, which, was so amazing. And at the time, this was 2003, makeup, the industry wasn't flooded with makeup artists. So I was lucky enough when I went to that school to be hired out as a trainee, kind of, build my resume a bit. I did a lot of free work on set. At the time I lived right by the Warner Brothers studio lot. And so I got a lot of gigs just kind of doing that. And I think that's where I kind of built my resume. And,
is that where you grew up? You were born in
I was
LA?
actually born in Sacramento.
Oh, okay.
I was born in Sacramento, and my mom lived in San Diego. And so I moved out with my mom and went to high school out there. And then that's where Miss Rayleigh kind of taught me, listen, you can make money doing makeup. So, and then I moved from San Diego to LA.
Okay.
Yeah. So super fun. It was, it's an adventure and I miss it.
When you have training for makeup, is effects part of that, or is that something you have to definitely reach out for?
Yeah, it is. So the course that I took was called the Journeyman course. And it was essentially like, okay, I want to be a makeup artist, but I'm not sure which direction I want to go. If I want to go more beauty or if I want to go more effects. And so I got to do all of it. It was like 4 years of school. So I went beauty, character, hair, wardrobe, and then special effects. And then that's kind of where I found the love of doing effects makeup. Yeah. So that's the cool thing about that school. And they're still there, Makeup Designery LA. So if anyone's interested in, learning makeup and
how long is the course?
Again, there's different levels. So you pay different levels. And I did all of it. So it just depends on what, and I highly recommend if you're interested in makeup, but you don't know exactly what you want to do, take that Journeyman course, do all of it, because I feel like that also helped me later in life where, now my life is different. I'm a mom. I live out in the country, and so I don't live in LA anymore. I'm not doing, movies essentially. And now I'm doing more bridal and beauty. And so I'm glad that I had that education where it was like that big gap, that big array of different levels.
Yeah.
So
are you more intrigued by opportunities to do pretty makeup or to do effects makeup? That's how I'll divide it. I don't know if there's a correct term for that or not, but that's what I'll call it.
Well, no, for sure. I always say, beauty pays the bills, but effects fulfills my, itch, because I am that creative and I love scary. I mean, I remember growing up and Freddy Krueger, messed me up as a kid. And my sister telling me that's just makeup. And my mind was blown. Oh my gosh, people make makeup like that. And I remember sitting in my bathroom with my mom's makeup kit, turning myself into a lion or, at the age of 7. It was just it's just kind of naturally, I've always just loved makeup and doing that. But
that is super cool. So we have, just to ask a question, Thad is asking, would you be open to doing film again?
For sure. Actually, I mean, I worked on American Idol, moving out here and moving away from LA. I'm still, in touch and got that gig. And just last October, was it last October or the October before, I worked with, as you know, Jesse and Leah, and we filmed a few shorts out here on the ranch that I live on. And so, yes, of course.
they're doing great things. I'm glad to hear that.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely am still open to that. And you know, it's hard because again, I have small kids. I'm a mom, and you know, so I can't be on set in LA for 3 months. Unfortunately, maybe when they get a little older.
Yeah. Well, and again, you know, the more that we can bring production to Sacramento or encourage local production, that
Right.
gives people that live in and around the area the opportunity to do what they want to do for a living and not have to relocate their entire lives. So
Exactly.
we want to see that happen, definitely.
And we have such beautiful out in Sacramento. There's so many like beautiful places to film, and
yeah, the locations are, man, I mean, like the most fruitful thing that we really have to offer.
I know.
And that is something that, you know, from one end, our relationship and location or distance to the Bay Area, where it's kind of like, you know, what we don't have, they do, and we're within, you know, driving time to get it. So,
Exactly.
yeah, it's really the opportunity is more, you know, limited by just production being shut down at this point, but also, you know, film credits and what people are, you know, where they're taking their film in order to get, you know, a $40,000 or $400,000 film made for $40,000.
Exactly.
You know, crazy stories of that kind of stuff out there. So,
right.
yeah, I think, you know, in a perfect world, you find something that's being shot locally. As a matter of fact, I don't know if he's on the stream tonight, but I just referred you to a filmmaker who's got a project coming up that I think,
well, thank you.
depending on who they cast, it might be an easy or a difficult task to get them into the character that they're looking to create. So
I like difficult. Keeps me on my toes.
Yeah, it's again, you got to pick and choose what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. But I think that your ability to vary between beauty and effects makes you a very employable and desirable type of person. So
well, thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that. It's something that I'm proud of for sure. You know, being able to do both. And out in Sacramento, there are effects artists out here for sure. There's very talented effects artists out here.
Yeah.
But it's awesome to be an effects artist out here because I get a lot of work, over, other beauty artists because not everyone knows how to do that. So.
Yeah.
So it's beneficial for me in that realm, that sense. But
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally like a lot of independent filmmakers. That's the nature of how they do the job is you just do what's got to be done, and sometimes you wear many coats and do this, many tasks, no matter what your title is or what your credit is. So it's
the more you know, right? The more you know, the more employable you are, like you said.
Right. So what you're working on her with right now, is that reusable material?
Unfortunately, no. If you really, but if you really had to, maybe if you removed it carefully, but no. This is a foam latex piece. So when you remove it, it usually gets pretty damaged, and you wouldn't want to. It kind of gets stiff with the glue when the glue's applied.
Yeah, we could have done this closer to Halloween, and she could have taken advantage of the makeup and gone out and done some scare.
Well, so this piece again, I got to give my gal Cheryl at Boneyard Effects a shout out. So this piece is from FX Spaces, and anyone can order these. You know, and you take note, you can basically, you know, figure out how to glue them on. Anyone can do this. They have YouTube videos out now, you know, taking my job away from me. Really amazing tutorials on how to glue prosthetics on.
Well, you know what though? Here's the reason. I want to make sure that Steve, can you get a link for Boneyard Effects and pop it into the chat? Anything that we want to leave as a link or a reference, we can put it into the comments, and then people can have access to that. But here's a question that kind of ties into why you are important and better than a YouTube video. So Greg Parrish, who's a local filmmaker, I love him to death. He says, how do you estimate how long an effect is going to take to do? Which, let me just underscore, is exactly what your role to the producer and the director is. In order to say, yes, I can do that, you have to know how long it's going to take, whether or not you have the materials, what kind of, you know, whatever, all of the background questions that need to be done. And, you know, I don't know how you, answering his question, how you can estimate that, but I know that that can totally blow a production offline.
Oh, for sure.
If it hasn't been estimated correctly. So how do you approach that?
So it just depends on the piece, or, you know, the character, or, you know, really like how much makeup, you know, effects we're talking about. So like something like this, you know, I would say, oh, an hour, but I usually try to give myself, you know, some leeway in there. So typically something like this, when I'm not talking, I can apply and paint in 50 minutes, but I would always, you know, kind of go a little over just to give myself that wiggle room. Because of course, you know, especially on set, like there's never enough time, you know, it's, you gotta be quick, you gotta, you know. And for me, I like to have things done in my makeup chair before we get on set. When we get onto set, it's just touch-ups, like, you know, and that's a huge thing that I feel like a lot of makeup artists, you know, don't realize that they say, oh, I'm going to finish it on set. No one wants you to do that. You're going to make, you know, enemies with the director if you're trying to finish your makeup on set. You need to have it done, and you need to be quick. So one thing I've taught myself as a makeup artist is I cannot be quick enough. Like, I'm still trying. You got to be quick. Yeah. So it just, for the timing, it just depends on what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think where it gets sticky is when you've got a film as opposed to just a photo shoot or something like that, and you're dealing with multiple characters and multiple, you know, shooting locations or dates, and having to, you know, apply that kind of makeup over and over again, or manage the people that are applying it, because obviously you can't do it all depending on the size of the shoot. So
definitely. Yeah.
Isabella, how does it feel? Does it feel okay?
It feels fine.
She's used to this. I make her, she's my model a lot.
Has anybody wanted to follow in your footsteps, being your models? And
I feel like Isabella would be she's my makeup girl. Ever since she was little, she always liked makeup, and I always give her I have 4 beautiful nieces that live on the ranch up here, and I'm lucky because they're my model a lot. But Isabella's definitely my makeup girl. She's the one I give all my hand-me-down makeup to when it's
nice
time to change out the kit.
Nice.
Oh, sorry, I just spilled that on you.
And Chris Groves wants to know if you have created any original characters. Have you come up with any original characters?
Yeah, a lot. Here's my thing, like when it comes to, especially when we're going into effects like this, I know how to do it because I went to makeup designery and we molded and we sculpted, but that's not like my favorite thing to do. And so I rely on buying like from, FX Spaces, the prosthetics. So technically these like makeups that I do like this are definitely a collab because I'm purchasing from a company, and then I get to paint it and design how I go about like painting, prosthetics. So, but as far as like original, I mean, all the time. All the time.
Every job is an opportunity to do something.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You in real close here. You can see how I'm kind of slowly gluing this on. Now you have to be careful with these edges when you're gluing a prosthetic on. They like to roll up on you, so that's why I'm using a Q-tip and I'm kind of rolling the edges out. One thing in gluing on prosthetics is you can always look for the edges, on TV or wherever it may be. You don't want to see bad edges.
Yeah. And then once she's been wearing this for a while, is it pretty easy to remove?
Easy? No, it's not fun. But I use it's isopropyl myristat, and it's basically, how do I get it up? There it is. There. It basically dissolves the glue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and then, I always tell everyone, get in a hot shower. Coconut oil is going to be your best friend. Any oil base is going to, remove adhesive as well.
Yeah. And I was noticing, I think I was looking on your social media, but did you start off like transforming yourself?
I did.
Yeah, I thought I saw several photos.
Well, and then also that's just like kind of my, if I have nothing going on and I'm bored, that's kind of my like way of being creative. If I don't have a model, I'll just, practice on myself.
Until your kids are old enough. Sit down.
Right? Exactly. I cannot wait. My kids actually, when school 2 years ago, my kids won the Halloween makeup costume competition.
Of course they did. Come on.
It was my proudest moment.
I can't imagine that you wouldn't have been just mortified if they had not won.
Well, I mean, I'm no Rick Baker, but it'll do. They loved it. They had a blast. They won $5, but it might as well have been $1,000. They thought they were just millionaires.
What were their characters?
Sally, Jack and Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Which is my favorite movie ever in the world, and now it's theirs.
Okay, hold on. I got another question. What are you using to hold down the prosthetic, and does it withstand sweat?
It does. So this is called Prozaid, and it's an adhesive. I bought this from Alcone Company. So it's called Prozaid, and it's basically a medical grade glue. So it's safe for the skin, and it withstands sweat. It's pretty durable. This is industry standard. Now, if I was gluing on like a silicone piece, I would be using a silicone, a glue that works best with silicone.
Okay, interesting. So you got to know what your materials are to know what you need to use on it. And Greg, who's apparently going into production, and he's going to bring you on board. He wants to know, oops, where are you? Let's see. How do you work with directors to figure out what they want? I mean, it's kind of beyond how do you figure out how much time it's going to take, but what's your approach in working with the directors, I think, is the difference here.
Well, so my first approach is asking, what's your budget? What's your budget? Especially if we're going into effects, it can be pretty pricey. So, sorry, I dripped glue on you. And then we go from there, designing the makeup. Again, I'm not, there's been certain times where I've done, my own sculpts and kind of try, the problem is I don't have like a big shop where I've got an oven and I can be, doing these effects pieces myself. So a lot of the time I am purchasing it like third party. And so, we're paying that price of, the prosthetics, and then you're paying, of course, my kit fee and my, my price. So it just, again, it depends on what the director is looking for and what they want.
Well, I highly applaud the time you invest in pre-production to have those kind of conversations. And, we've all been in those situations where the cameras are rolling and you haven't done all of the due diligence to make sure that you've got everybody in place well enough in advance and you know what their needs are, because that affects the production. So I'll get off my soapbox now, but I've been talking to several producers about that very specific topic. So yeah, I think that's important. And John wants to know, can you make an old man look young? Or vice versa, I'll add.
Well, that's when you call the doctors, John.
Oh, that's sad. That's a sad answer.
I can make young men look old.
Yeah, well, those of us that are already there really don't want to, look any older. And Eileen wants to know, when are you taking appointments for Halloween? When do you start taking appointments?
I have been since last year. So I am almost fully booked this year for Halloween.
Wow.
I would say I at the most
jump on it.
Huh?
I was telling the audience they better jump on it, because
honestly, I get booked out every year for Halloween, and it's always my same clients. It's always, and I love it because it's, it's like a tradition.
What kind of stuff are they booking you for? What are you doing?
Well, so last year we did, again, one of my best Halloween clients, we did a full zombie. Like she won, by the way, the Halloween competition, but we had like a full cowl, the face, the chest piece, arm pieces, hand pieces. You could not recognize her from Adam. I mean, she was like decked out. She looked amazing. And actually you can see that on my Instagram page. I think I posted it. But Halloween, all kinds of looks. I love it. We do. I think we've done Pennywise. We've done, beautiful, like, geisha makeups, and sky's the limit. We've done a lot.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And then is this the first time? I know you're doing the Sinister Creature Con this Sunday. Is this your first time working with those guys in that event?
It is, and I'm so honored that they asked me to be a part of it. Like, this is so huge for me, and I'll tell you why. Because V. Neal, my all-time favorite makeup artist, she did Beetlejuice, Mrs. Doubtfire, is going to be there. fingers crossed, that she's still on board. But I cannot believe that I am a featured artist alongside of her. I'm just so honored. So I'm very excited about this, and yeah,
That
it's
is
gonna be
so
a blast.
Have you been to any of the other cons? Is that something that you do?
So IMAX is another huge makeup show, and yes, I've been to IMAX when I lived in LA. That they usually hold it in LA. That's another big like makeup artist, makeup show. So anyone out there who loves makeup and all makeup, get a ticket for that. I think it's coming up too. Let's see, in September, I believe. But yeah, you should check out their website for sure. It's so
And then
cool.
There's a question about are you working out of your home studio, which you're not at your home studio right now, right?
So this is my mobile studio.
Okay.
Is
this the trailer?
Yeah, so I'm in.
You're in the trailer now. Oh, okay. So
yeah,
Steve,
I'm in my makeup trailer.
I want you guys to see, and especially for those of you who are looking to hire for on-set production, this girl brings everything.
Yeah, you don't have to rent the makeup trailer. We've got it.
Adorable makeup trailer. And Steve, pop that out and pull us back so we can see how it's set up. It's a cute little RV that she's completely outfitted to be the makeup trailer. So if you're on set and the only room you have is a closet, which many of you who've done makeup before know that experience, Gina's opportunity is not only her skills, talent, and materials, but the fact that she can bring her own makeup trailer into the set. There it is. So cute.
Yeah, it's I was telling you before too, it's awesome not only for film and doing that, but for my brides. There's a lot of times when we get to a location and they're getting ready. I told you I got ready in a broom closet when I got married.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this is kind of it fits a lot of people, and by a lot I mean like 5. But yeah, we get the bride ready in here. The bridesmaids can come in and sit down and have a mimosa, and we just do girly things,
That's perfect. And are you teamed up? I know that several people in the industry kind of team up with a hairstylist that they, kind of go into different projects together. Do you have somebody that is your go-to hairstylist?
I do. There's a few. So yeah, again, the beauty industry here is amazing, and we're all kind of, in cahoots with each other. And Shauna Beals is one of another makeup artist who's amazing. Jessica from Polish and Pout, I work with her a lot. So, and then, hairdresser. Yeah, there's an amazing what do you call it? Kinship of makeup artists.
Yeah, all I can think of is I want to introduce, Angela Womack and TJ Hardy and people that are, in my first circle. The more you know each other and the more that you can kind of cross support, because when you're busy and a job comes up, nobody wants to turn that down.
Exactly.
Or have it go out of our region and to somebody else so that we lose that business here locally. So we definitely, want to know that everybody is connecting like that. And I'm seeing a lot of these connections coming through right now. Great.
You have to, want to spread the wealth too. Like if you can't do it, it's so good to make friends in the community that you work in, and hook hook somebody up. Like, hey, I can't do it, but here's someone who can. And, you know, we it's very easy in this kind of industry to be catty, you know, and mean. I've definitely dealt with that. But I honestly think, you know, the more the merrier, the more people who you can contact because you've made friends and connections, the better off you are because you can hand things out and not like overload yourself.
Yeah. Well, and once you know, it's like with film sets, once you know that you work well with somebody, you tend to want to bring that person with you, you know, into the next
totally.
because you've already got that safety of comfort in knowing that they can do their job and how they work with you. And so, yeah.
Totally.
So how far, Natalie's asking, how far are you willing to travel to be with a client in your mobile studio? Do you have limitations on that?
Not really. I really don't. I go as far as
when you're there. I said, you pay the price and you'll get her.
Money talks. No.
Well, yeah. Well, listen, gas prices now is probably the biggest deterrent to taking anything anywhere. Totally. Not to mention, you know, restrictions, but.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, you know, wherever the work is where I go, essentially. And especially doing weddings and stuff. I mean, they're from San Francisco to Lake Tahoe. I mean, that's just, you know, locally, or not locally, but, you know, that's where that's kind of my range. But if I'm needed somewhere, I'm happy to travel for sure.
Yeah. Well, again, we're trying to keep it where the traveling is least of, we're trying to get to where the travel is the least of the problems that people have. It's, you know, it's really let's make the work happen here, and then we can not have to, you know, have that kind of a concern. But
well, that's kind of where this makeup trailer, you know, came in too. It's like, if I need to take this somewhere and I need to stay in it, you know, I've got a bunk area up there. I can, you know, I can travel. So I haven't needed to do that yet, but
you never know.
Never know. If it happens, it happens. So right now I'm working on my edges. This is a thicker Prosade mixed with Cabo Seal, which is just like a thickening agent for glue. It kind of looks like this.
Professionals. This is why you pay the professionals. They have the right tools to do the right job. And you think you can buy it at the, you know, costume store and apply it yourself. Don't do that.
Yeah, they don't sell this kind of stuff at the costume store.
Yeah. I have a friend, Millie. I don't know if Millie's here. Hi, Millie. That does face painting. And I never realized how important the materials used in face painting were, especially when you're talking about kids. And how really extensive her material list is to have the best and the most safe, you know, products that are being used.
Yeah, for sure. And you can see, like, even I'm talking, and I know this is taking a long time, but you can see how tedious I'm going around the edges and making sure everything is nicely laid down and not rolled up. And, you know, I mean, your work speaks, you know, for you. So you want to make sure you know, it's good.
Well, so this is why you hear stories about Hollywood productions and, you know, certain roles taking 4 hours to get into makeup and then another 4 hours to remove it.
Oh, for sure. Sometimes even longer.
Yeah, this is an example of why it's not easy to get it right.
Yep. Yeah. So if for some reason tonight, you know, we don't finish this, you guys can, I will definitely load pictures up of this makeup when it's done, so everyone can kind of see, you know, the finished product.
Yeah, yeah. So Michaela wants to know, what's your favorite makeup look that you've ever created?
Gosh, you know, I don't think I can pick one. I've created a lot of I've done fun projects with, you know, working with photographers and, you know, on, you know, films and stuff. And I think all of my looks are my favorite in different ways. You know.
We've got some pictures of the stuff that you've done. Let me see if we can get a full screen. There you go.
Oh, that's the gory, scary stuff.
That's great.
You gotta warn the people watching.
Ugh. Wow.
That's one of my favorites, I think.
Yeah,
that one was, I work with an awesome photographer. His name's Kyle. And that was, you know, a vision that he had. Called me up. He's like, hey, I want to do a photo shoot. This is going to be kind of crazy, but I want to get rid of the gal's eyes. Can we do that? And I'm like, yeah, we can. And I had to really kind of map out how I was going to do this. And I was really proud of the way it came out. And of course, Kyle's such an amazing photographer. He really captured like all the highlights and lowlights of that scary.
Yeah, that looks cool.
Yeah. Again, that's Kyle. That's the photographer that I work with a lot when it comes to gory stuff. And his photos have a lot of meaning behind them. I'm trying to think of his. First, of course, I go blank. I'm trying to think of his handle for Instagram, because you guys have to go check him out. I'll think of it and then I can.
Yeah, let us know. We can always pop it into the comments field here too. You got a compliment on your model. Your model is so gorgeous.
She is so gorgeous.
That is not a question, but I just thought we would pass that because Isabella, you know, is not getting paid for her role here today.
Oh, she gets paid. I give her a lot of makeup.
That's worth it, because makeup, oh my gosh, crazy expensive.
Crazy expensive.
So TJ Hardy, who's an incredible hairstylist here, wants to know, what's the most challenging MUA SFX job that you've ever had, and how did you overcome those challenges? So that, you know, and that could take a couple of different turns, because when I think of challenging, it's not only the work that you do, but it's the bullshit you have to deal with to get the work done.
You know, what's so funny is I was going to go in that direction. Not so much the makeup, but, you know, going on set, I'm not always key. I'm not always key makeup. I'm not the lead makeup artist. And that's okay with me. Like, I'm okay with that. But there was a time when I worked on a set and the key makeup artist just had it out for me. And all I could do was just smile and, you know, try. Although I would come home and, you know, bawl my eyes out. But
oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. So working with different personalities on set, you know, everyone has a role to play. And I think, honestly, you just have to kind of go with the flow. And my whole thing on set is listen to the director, do your job, be quick, and be nice. And, you know, so if you're butting heads with someone, I guess the best thing to do is just, you know, go about your own business and do what you're supposed to be doing and not pay attention to, you know, the drama.
Well, it's one of those things where when things are going like really well or when things are going really bad, it's a brief marriage and you'll be out of it soon. So
Exactly.
it's either something to rejoice or it's something to be sad about, because sometimes you miss that team so much after it's all over. And
Sure.
sometimes you can't wait to get out of bed with those people. So,
And then you learn, like, okay, I know that I'm not ever going to take a job if I know, that person's going to be on that production.
yep. Yeah, I think it's always the lessons that we learn. We can only really apply them to the next gig, because
Right.
when you learn them more often than not, you're in the middle of learning them and in a gig. And the last thing I think you want to do is back out on a commitment. I mean, obviously, unless it's something that's truly gonna, hurt you for doing so. But
Right.
being able to stay with it. I've seen a lot of people in production that are ready to pull the plug, and they pull up their bootstraps and they make it work and they get back on the saddle and they end up having, a really successful event in production. And what they learn from that, they can then apply. But it's tough.
That's life, right? I mean, everyone has to learn to do that. There's always going to be someone, that you don't fully get along with, but you have to learn.
Is that character, Chris is asking too about what character your model would be turned into. Does she exist anywhere?
I'm kind of just flying by the seat of my pants. So this is kind of like a dragon, scaly lizard type. I don't know. You can't really, again, I'm going to post clearer photos of this when it's done. But I think I'm going to go with keeping her more human. So I'm going to give her, human coloring rather than like going with the greens and stuff. I don't know. That's just what I have. Again.
So what you would normally do, you get the foam on there to have the surface that you want, basically. Right. And then you start applying, whether it's tone or color or blood or whatever.
Right. The painting is my favorite part, I think. Applying the prosthetics is very tedious, and you can see it's, it's not very creative. You're just trying to make sure there's no, it looks smooth.
Right.
I think the painting of the prosthetic is my favorite part about doing the makeup.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to have these, you have to remember these steps. There's steps in creating and if you go backwards and you don't, do it.
And what is the makeup that you're using? Is it special makeup? And how long would that last on a shoot?
Yeah, so I'm using Pax paint to paint this. And again, that has the Prozade. It's paint that has the Prozade in it. So it's like a glue paint. And so it's going to last. These makeups, these products are meant to last all day. You just have to keep touching them up, especially if it depends on the weather outside too. If it's really hot and your actor's sweating, you have to, as a makeup artist, have tools on you like a handheld fan and you're standing there keeping your makeup looking good,
Yeah, that's like babysitting something all day long, because I can see where, the shift in time and temperature can, affect what you're.
Yep.
The continuity of keeping that character looking the same and going from shot to shot. So Chris also asked, are there many films shot in this area? And I can answer that. There are a lot of films shot in this area. A lot of them are shot in pieces. And so you don't see the big productions taking place here. They're doing a lot of the, single shots or identifying shots. And the local film community is a very active and a very talented base of people, both from, writing, acting, directing. We really have a lot of incredible talent here. And really, it's just a matter of whatever your role is in this industry. You need to network. It's a business built on networking, because it's not really what you know, it's who you know.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So when
For
you know
sure.
you have an opportunity to get on set, whether it is like walking in entry level the first time as a PA, to building yourself up into other positions within the camera department or producing or whatever the case may be, getting your feet wet in these productions. It's like Angela was saying, there's things that she did for free. We all have worked for free. We all paid dues to be able to learn while we contributed. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is really the feeding ground for so many people. Before you can justify charging for your services, make sure that you know what you're doing and that you're doing it right. So volunteering your time, nothing wrong with that. But, certainly major productions, you're not going to, typically work for free. But the ones that are your friends and the people that you want to support because you want to turn around and ask them to support you, that's the community you want to tap into. So the CFAA is that community, and this website is just, or this webcast is one way of keeping everybody connected. But we have, our database alone is over 5,000 people. So it's just a matter of who does what and when and where, because sometimes people start off in, as a production assistant, and then they gain skills, and then they move up the line and take on different jobs. So it's a constantly changing environment for sure.
Yeah.
Happy to, promote anything that anybody's doing, because just getting a film made is a huge undertaking, and it's a huge accomplishment. Whether or not you have it funded, whether or not you have marketing and distribution that's successful, and that an audience finds your film, that's a whole nother, avenue that, as you're making it and you're doing your job, your singular job, and you want to do your job well, you got to recognize that there's so many parts to the puzzle that really have to all fit in order to get it out to the masses, or into, a red carpet environment somewhere. So obviously, but I love that we have a full-time film commissioner now, Jennifer West. I don't know if you're out there. Hey, babe. But Jennifer, yeah, she's an incredible asset and an advocate. We're working closely with her to, figure out what we need to do to bring our industry levels up to speed. And when she can bring production to the area, as well as support the local filmmaking side of things, we're all going to be better off. So that's, we got to shout out and support everybody that's doing cool stuff right now.
Definitely, especially in this time. It's uncertain. We don't know if we're going to get shut down again.
Yeah. Is there any advice that you have? Elizabeth is asking, any advice that you have for an aspiring makeup artist? I mean, you've told us your story, but is there something you've learned that, you would take to somebody else?
For sure. I think, honestly, school, it depends on what kind of makeup artist you want to be. You gotta think, do you want to be, what do you want to do? What's your lane? And honestly, going to, a makeup school, I don't know, I only know of the one that I went to speak on, because it was just so amazing. But I know that there are makeup schools, especially out in Northern California, that are good. Federico, which is hair and makeup, I believe. But definitely, I think that's just kind of key in everything is advancing your training, you know, learning your art, learning your craft.
Yeah.
Best way to do it is school, right?
Yeah. Well, I know that there are some filmmakers who, you know, you go to film school and you can easily drop $250,000 into a 3-year education.
Right.
And then you add general ed on top of that, as some students wait to do, and it becomes a 4-year degree. But what they find is, again, along that lines of it's not what you know, it's who you know. The bulk of what they really learn and they take with them job after job is what they're learning on set. So, you know, finding ways to train people without bleeding them dry for an education that may or may not, you know, be helping them is, I think, something that anybody in this industry really needs to think about.
Right.
You should educate yourself, you know, no matter what. If you're an actor, if that's your craft, you should be figuring out how to be the best actor, how you can be preparing for every possible scenario job. So being able to really figure out what's necessary, I would think in your skills specifically, you would need the hands-on education and the diversity of education all in one place in order to really be considered a valuable asset right out of school.
You really do. And the one cool thing about, because what I wanted to work on movies, right? I wanted to be a special effects makeup artist. The one cool thing about my school was it taught you how to work on set. It taught you what you need to bring, how to price yourself, all the things that someone going into the industry would need to know. And I'm grateful for, I still to this day have my books, you know, where my training books where they give you at school, and you know, it shows you what, you know, what's required of a makeup artist, whether it be beauty or effects. But if you're going into the film industry as a makeup artist, you really do need to know both. You don't need to maybe know as much as, like, you know, doing super special effects where you're applying this, but you need to know, like, out of kit, like how to do a wound, a scrape, you know, blood work. You know, you need to know enough to get you onto a film that, you know, may have a little boy skinning their knee, and you got to know how to do that. Because a director's not going to hire a secondary makeup artist for, you know, a little scrape or, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I'm saying, if you want to be, you know, do the type of makeup that I'm doing, going to school is definitely something you're going to need to do.
Yeah. And who teaches you? Who continues to teach you? How do you increase your skills?
Yeah, I still I actually still take classes, and the cool thing about now is you can take online classes. So I am I'm trying to think. Stan Winston School of Makeup. I'm taking online courses. I pay a monthly fee, and I can go in and again, this industry is always growing and evolving, and techniques are changing, and so it's important to learn, you know, all the new techniques and what they're doing. But you know, on set, and how, you know, how they are accomplishing looks. It's really important to keep educating yourself, for sure.
You should be seeing some really good examples this weekend at the Creature Con.
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, I would love to get in there. I'm just, I don't know if I can figure that. But
are you gonna go, Lori?
You know, I hadn't planned on it because I have a family event this weekend, and I wasn't sure if I would be free, but I would, you know.
Well, I hope to see you there.
I get scared. I'm like, I'm not a lover of
Oh, come
horror
on.
and all things, but I am a lover of creativity. And when I can see like what you're doing with Isabella and how you go from, her beautiful face to her dragon face it's just a really interesting process. We've got people that are really having fun watching you do this.
Oh,
Do
thank
you ever use airbrush in your work?
I do. Yeah. I chose not to tonight because it's so loud.
Oh, okay. Good point.
But yeah, all the time, especially in these type of makeups.
And then Bethany is saying, in the world of CGI, how does a makeup artist stand out in the industry and stay in the forefront?
I'm still trying to figure that out myself. Just be good, practice your craft.
Yeah. Be good to work with, not just to do the job, but somebody that is a pleasure to be on set.
Yeah, have a good attitude. That's so huge,
Yeah.
I try. I have my days, but when you're working on a set, you have to be pleasant or you're never going to get hired again.
Right. Yeah. Again, recent discussions with a couple of producers that are, the lowliest PA can jack up your whole set if it's not the right person doing the right job. So
for sure,
it can create a bad experience that nobody wants to have. And your job is, even if it's below the line, has an effect. It has a ripple effect on so many people.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out, how to be a mom and be a makeup artist and do all the things that I want to do. I'm learning how to juggle all that.
Yeah. I'm leaning in to see the screen and I'm probably giving you my big old eyeball. It's fascinating. I love that. I have a niece that might, this is something that she might dig because she's into makeup, but not traditional,
Yeah. Yeah, this is again my favorite part is the painting, and what I love about FX Spaces prosthetics is they're so textured, and she does such an amazing job sculpting these. They're so realistic, and
I didn't realize you had that kind of diversity in product.
Yeah.
Like giving you the base of what you can start with and then build onto, and how just diverse those are.
Yeah. And it's fun when you start, filling in the highlights and the lowlights and getting into these textures. It really starts to change the makeup, and the makeup, it's all a process.
Yeah.
The makeup just kind of starts to evolve, and I think that's my favorite part about these kind of makeups is like it starts to kind of turn into something, and I just love that.
Well, I told you there's a couple of shows that I've been watching and that have caught my attention that make me think of you and anybody that does special effects. We've had a couple of people on the website or on the webcast that does some real creature creations, not just facial makeup, but so but the Sexy Beasts, which is
on Netflix.
On Netflix, and the concept is kind of like dating without seeing somebody, because you're both wearing the most incredible makeup that you cannot literally see that person's face. And as
I
I'm watching
swear
that,
a makeup artist created that show because it is
Oh.
just too weird. It's too weird.
yeah, it is very weird, but I love the characters that they create and the makeup.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I find myself going, I can tell what that person looks like. That's, yeah, I can tell. And then they take that makeup off and I'm like, my jaw's on the floor. It's incredible. And then another show that's on Netflix also, Sweet Tooth.
Oh yes, that's my fave.
Oh my gosh, a series where they've taken, in an apocalyptic world, and now children are being born, and they're being born as hybrids to people and animals. So you have varying degrees of, characters that, a little girl that has a pig nose and, curly tail, and, and yet she's a full-on girl everywhere else. And watching that show too was another one where I was thinking of you, thinking, what a fun challenge for a makeup artist to have to create these, and 2 shows that really support doing that and doing it a lot. So not just a single moment in a single film, but series and episodic stuff that give people like you an opportunity to, get involved and show your work.
Yeah.
I don't know. And also, I know that there's other, God, I'm totally drawing a blank on the shows. And I think somebody local, Eric Fox, was involved in one of it was a competition for online or for effects makeup. What was the name of that? Come on, Steve, you should know this. Anyway, a competition where you can put your skills to work would be a really interesting concept to jump into. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I'm up for anything, I would love to do something like that.
That'd be really fun. Yeah. I wonder if that's something that we could produce locally. We have enough people that are up to the job.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
It's definitely a process. Look straight up. So, again, if we don't finish this on this live, I'll finish it and then post pictures.
Oh yeah, Face Off. That was the one.
Oh yeah, Face Off. Yeah.
Thank you, Steve.
Sorry, I'm all in the I totally knew that. I'm just in the mix here. I'm like,
no, I knew Steve would find it. Thank you.
I love that show.
I haven't watched that whole series. I think it was on a channel that I didn't get.
There's going to be a gal who was on Face Off at CreatureCon.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so.
Wow.
Oh my God, yes. I would love to be on a show like that. I would totally probably not win because there are so many crazy talented
I don't know. You know what? You know how many shows there are for home cooks? For people to demonstrate what they do and, really rise above. You never know. I think you've got some skills there.
Yeah. There's so many makeup competition shows that, just even on Netflix, I think there's 4.
Oh,
and,
wow. Obviously, I haven't been looking for that.
Yep.
Oh, it's a sci-fi channel. Okay, that's right. Yeah. That's why I didn't see it. And then do you keep archival copies of everything that you do just so that you have reference?
Yeah.
Even this, Of course, we want to put this in Isabella's portfolio, so.
The best archive I think I could ever ask for is Instagram.
Oh, right? Yeah. That's the truth. You know what? Social media, it is given us the ability to not only connect with each other, share things like this, but keep a record of, what happens in our lives chronologically and visually. And as frustrated as I get with social media sometimes, I also have moments where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad that is
Oh, for sure.
and I can, remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, you make connections with maybe, people that you wouldn't if you didn't have that outlet, Sorry, when I get into like painting, I'm like
Okay, here's something that I think years ago we had a demonstration by a makeup artist, and I was like, do you do any kind of art outside of this? Like, taking your painting to a canvas or to a, mural or something else. Have you ever done anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. I love painting. That's like I'm like uh, I think it's right brained, right? That's the art side.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time. That's kind of, especially if I'm stressed out, that's kind of my outlet is to, I mean, even with my daughter, I'll sit down and color with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Art is therapy to me. And I don't have a single outlet for that. I dabble in everything, but I find that it's the only thing that really takes my concentration, which doesn't allow me to multitask. Because if I'm doing anything else, I'm doing 4 different things at one time. And sometimes you just need to slow that shit down.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
Oh, she looks so good. Oh my gosh.
It's all about like layering and.
My granddaughter's been watching this or reading this series of books about dragons, and this totally makes me think of some of the characters. I started reading it too, just so that we could compare, and she got so much further ahead of me that we're not on the same page anymore. But we're imagining all of these, characters, and this is what I would imagine them to.
Yeah.
Like.
So FX Spaces, this is one of their newer sculpts that she sent me. And it's like, the half face sculpt, which I love these because then it takes a little bit less time to apply these, but.
So the stuff that we're looking at, like on Sexy Beast or Sweet Tooth, that's like full on.
Oh yeah.
Facial,
hours and hours in the makeup chair, probably. That panda bear on that show.
Yeah.
Like laying hair and,
Yeah, it makes me want to watch it on a really big screen and magnified to just kind of get a clue as to what they've done.
Yeah.
Do you work with wigs that incorporate with your makeup too?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I just recently decided I want to teach myself how to make wigs. It's something that I did learn. I took a course on in school, but just never kind of kept up with it. And so, yeah, I'm like, I want to, and again, being on that Stan Winston. Oops, sorry, dropping things. Being on being a member of that Stan Winston, you can take courses. So
So does the skin have to be prepped prior to the makeup being applied to reduce perspiration?
Yeah, you always want to make sure that your client's face, you don't want to necessarily prep it like with moisturizers and stuff because that's going to inhibit the glue. So you want definitely a dry, clean face washed with a soap, no moisturizer, all that stuff, you can put on after you take the makeup off because, moisturizers are usually typically oil based. And so you don't want anything that's going to inhibit the glue.
And does that feel heavy or hot, Isabella? Does it? No?
Nope. It feels fine.
I would think it almost would feel good to just have somebody, rubbing your face like that.
Yeah, it's like a massage almost.
Yeah. I love that. So then, will you be doing makeup on Sunday? What can you tell us a little bit about what you expect to be doing at the Sinister Creature Con?
Yeah, so I'm going to have a model, and I'm going to be doing a live demo. Again, using FX Spaces prosthetics. I'm going to do a zombie.
Ew, you going to do that, Isabella?
Not me.
No, I have a different model. Actually, one of my cousins is going to be my model.
Nice.
Yeah.
The family fills in quite nicely.
They really do.
So that you're going to be working the zombie and just there to talk. And I mean, are you speaking at all, or are you just kind of in the background?
So I believe so. As a featured artist, we're just gonna have our area, and we're gonna be doing live demos, so anyone can come and watch the process happen and ask questions and take pictures and.
Oh, I want to shout out to Dave Ridgway too, because Gina is his niece.
Is he on here?
I don't know if he is on here or not, and if he's not, he's in trouble because he's on our board, and everybody should be dropping in. But I don't know what he's doing. He may be on a gig or doing something today. But it's it's all about understanding who's in your region doing what. And Dave is, somebody who's worked in the camera department and is a director, producer, and yet I, didn't know that he had this avenue in his family that had this other creative skill going on. So any of you, promote yourself, and through that promote anybody that you know is good, because here's the deal. For a lot of us, there are people out there that are promoting themselves as being the best thing that's out there. When I hear that, it makes me completely think the opposite, because in my history and experience, the only real people that are worth their salt are the ones that other people talk about.
Oh, yeah.
They don't talk about themselves. There's other people that are singing their praises, and that's where when you know somebody's good at what they do, that's the best thing you can do, is just help promote them and what they do, because it carries a lot more weight when it comes from somebody else. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Uncle Dave better be on here.
Uncle Dave, you're in big trouble. Actually, I had a board meeting last night, and he was not present.
Oh, no.
While many other people on my board have been here and are involved, he did not get the last minute notification that everybody else did. So,
oh, bummer.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
This just makes me want to produce something with crazy makeup. want to see more of this. It's kind of I have a
Soothing
friend.
to watch.
It's very, yeah, it's very just satisfying to watch things applied and see how it builds and grows. I have a friend who is an artist. He's a filmmaker, but he's also an artist, and he started sculpting over the pandemic. And he would just turn on his FaceTime Live, and he had all of his materials and a spinning board, and he would just sculpt for hours and hours and hours. And if you wanted to, you could watch from beginning to end, or you could, watch it at the end of it and see what he did. But I found that I was really just fascinated, by the process, and even
Yeah.
slow, just, time ticking away. I couldn't tear my eyes away from it. It was really fascinating.
Yeah. I do that at night. I follow a lot of really talented like makeup artists who do the sculpting. And
What are you doing now? What is that?
so I'm taking a splatter brush, and I'm kind of just adjusting the skin tone a little, throwing in some reds and some blues just to kind of adjust the makeup.
So since I have you here, and it's not all about just crazy makeup, because many of us need to know more about makeup and how we apply it, not just on set, but in life.
Yeah.
Are there any tips that you can give people that are working with particular skin conditions, or if you've got aging issues? I don't know who I'm talking about with that. It's certainly not me. But what have you seen, or what can you share as a makeup artist that might just help any of us?
I honestly think like the number one key, especially like when you're doing talking beauty makeup, is taking care of your skin. Makeup is only going to look as good as your skin, because it is your skin. So that's basically what I tell all my clients is like, use good creams. Make sure you're applying sunscreen. Wash your face at night.
That's my problem.
Yeah, it's so important.
Yeah, I'm really bad about doing that.
To take care of, we only get one skin.
Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of those lessons you don't learn and you don't realize until it's too late that it applies to you too.
Yeah, and then when it's too late, it's too late. There's you can't reverse those creams do not reverse aging as much as they claim that they do. When the wrinkle is there, it's going to stay there unless you go get it injected with something.
Yeah.
Or go to a plastic surgeon.
Yeah. Do you have base products that you recommend?
I do. My favorite of all time skincare line is I'm gonna grab some of the products here. Is Fresh Beauty. This is an amazing moisturizer. It's their rose moisturizer. But this vitamin C glow powder is an amazing exfoliator. So you do this in the shower, and then this, to moisturize your skin. And then, using an amazing eye cream. They have amazing products. And they're affordable. That's what I love about Fresh is it's a super affordable line.
Makeup gets crazy pricey.
Yeah, there are some, and then I have luxury products that the Chanel. I honestly cannot live without my Chanel moisturizers and my Chanel eye cream.
Really? Okay.
So like I do different things. Like it's always good to change up your skincare routine too. It's like washing your hair with a different shampoo. It kind of tricks your skin, and your skin can get used to certain products. So when you kind of switch it up from time to time, it's beneficial.
Yeah.
When you wash your hair with new shampoo, your hair just feels different and cleaner.
Well, as a matter of fact, you just popped in with a question. Do you like or ever use Perricone MD? It's my favorite. That's from TJ Hardy. TJ's a hairstylist, and he taught me, before you answer his question, he taught me something about using shampoo, and I probably use shampoo about, I don't know, 6 or 8 times a year now. It's,
Awesome.
I wash my hair with conditioner, or I find there's cleansing conditioners that you can buy. And I was having, oh my gosh, I was having an issue with hair loss. I was having an issue with breakage and dry hair. And as you get older and you start losing hair, you really, it's obvious, and you know it, and you hate it. And having stopped using shampoo with that kind of frequency, using the conditioners to clean my hair has completely turned around, and it's just such a better, everything.
It feels better. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, his question about Perricone.
I have several Dr. Perricone, right? Isn't he a doctor? Perricone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can find it, but yeah, I'm like a product junkie. I love trying new things, and I'm always looking for, especially skincare, I'm always looking for good products.
Well, that's where I would think this con this weekend would be such a cool opportunity for you to connect with other people and you find your tribe, and you find people that you're impressed by, and vice versa. And that just opens up your whole world for, what kind of work or creative possibilities you can do together.
Yeah, 100%. I'm excited for the connections that, potential connections that I'll be making there. Now, when you start painting these, you start seeing, once you apply the makeup, you start seeing edges that you didn't maybe see before. So I'm going to go back probably later after this and finite those edges.
Yeah, that has just changed her whole facial structure. Her eyes, everything. That's interesting.
Yeah. Start taking your hair out. I didn't want to put too much glue in her hair, so that's how we fixed it.
Oh, there you go. I dare you to go to 7-Eleven tonight. Come on. Go hit up some local late night whatever and give them a thrill. They'll have something to talk about for weeks if you do that.
I can't tell you how many times I've had to go drive a car with makeups that I've collaborated on, or had to go to the gas station dressed as something crazy.
Oh wow, that's amazing. So what do you want to do that you haven't done yet? What is it that you want to aspire to, and we can kind of help you materialize by talking about it?
Yeah, I think I feel like there's, I don't know how to answer that. I feel like I'm pretty fulfilled in everything that I've done and where I've gone and where I'm at now. I know I've said it 1,000 times, but just being a mom and having my kids, and you know, that's kind of what I'm doing now. And I love, I love how life kind of works like that.
Yeah.
Of course, as the kids get older and stuff, hopefully we'll get back on more sets. And
oh yeah, I mean, because really the time is so fleeting that they will be in that position of needing you, and you will have to put them, before anything else. So
they're still little now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you can't take that away from them at this point, but kind of having ways to continue to dabble in the field, or whether it's working on short projects or local projects only or something like that.
Yeah,
Obviously you've got your niche already pretty filled with that.
yeah. So I think the answer to that is definitely like, I'm good where I'm at now, and wherever life takes me, I'm happy with it. I'm just going with the flow.
Yeah. Well, you've made some good connections, and you've got some good people in your corner, and I think that's a really critical point of moving forward. And for you, I would say the same thing for When You're Ready that I said to Chris, I think his name was, that it's a business built on networking.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Excuse me. And to get yourself out there in as many ways as you can, so that people have seen your work, and whether they have a need for you today or 5 years from now, that kind of impression can be carried. I know so many people that they don't know what they need until they need it.
Exactly.
And then it's bar the door, because they're going to do everything they can to reach you.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So how much more time in a normal situation with what you've got going on with her, how much more time would that take, do you think, to finish?
I think honestly, it's throwing me off because I'm talking. I'm not fully going, and I need to take my own advice following the steps. But I typically, like I said, I could kill a makeup like this in an hour if I'm like, and that's one thing. And I always feel so bad, is I'm like a one-track mind. So when I'm trying to like do this, it's hard for me, if someone comes in and they're talking, or, it's like, I have to stop. And then, that's just how I am. If I'm on the phone and my kid's talking to me, my brain explodes because I don't know what to do. Like, I'm definitely a one-track mind. But I would say if no talking, I could probably finish this in 25 minutes. Yeah. Because now I'm like looking and seeing all the edges that I, forgot, and, steps that I forgot. So I want to go in and like refine that a little bit.
Well, I definitely want to make sure that we have images captured of beginning to end.
Oh, so, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if you're gonna wrap her up and can send that to us, because I mean, we can keep talking forever because I think it's really interesting, but to give you the time to to do that and bring it back and share it, we can. This is electronic.
Yeah, like I said, when I'm
this
done,
is virtual. We can do anything.
I'll take photos, and I will definitely send those, and I'll post them on, all my pages too.
Yeah. Well, I love what you're doing. I think it's so interesting. I can't wait to learn. I want you to call me after the Sinister Con and just see how that experience was.
Yeah.
If you don't make it out there, I would love to hear all about it. And the website is sinistercreaturecon.com, and you can get information about the whole event. Gina will be there. Please introduce yourself and let her know that you saw her on this webcast, and let them know that you're there to support local film events in Sacramento.
Lori?
I'm sorry, what?
I said thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's so interesting to just see the process and to learn more about you and what you're doing. And I think, again, as we build the industry, it's people like you that we're going to really set the bar with what can be done, in local film. So
Yeah.
I love getting to know you. Isabella, you look fabulous. That is just an incredible.
She's a pretty lizard lady.
She's a very pretty lizard lady. Oh my gosh. Let's see. What is the? We got one more question here. Would you add teeth?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think with this look, I was going for pretty.
Yeah.
So, teeth would definitely change the.
Yeah. All depends on what.
It's cool. I'll show you real quick.
Yeah.
That I just bought. Let me find. So there's mouth drops, and I'll be using these at Sinister for my zombie look. But these are like minty drops that, Isabella, I'll show you. You drop in your mouth and then rub your teeth. And then smile.
Yeah. So that just took away the pretty part of her.
I know. So there's all kinds of fun products. Another product that I just love and I use a lot, and I'm probably going to ruin my makeup, but it's made by Krylon. And they make different shades. So this is eye blood. This is for your eyes. And I'll show you real quick before we go. You can drop it, look straight back, into your model's eye. Go ahead and blink. And then it's going to kind of turn your head that way. There you go. Change the eye color.
Ah.
And then make different colors of it. So it'll like drip down and get all.
Ooh, that looks like Avatar. That looks like an Avatar thing.
I know. So there's all kinds of fun products.
Isabella, stick your face up really close to the camera. I'm like digging the detail there. Wow. That is really cool.
You can see I'm like so critical of my work. You can see some edges that I want to go in and fix.
No, I would be the same way. It's like my OCD takes over and I have to do it 3 times. Well, I think that it was really enjoyable to watch this. And I love getting to meet you and get to know each other. And hopefully it'll be in person next time. And we can have,
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me on. And I appreciate you. And this was fun.
Great. And good luck with Sunday. I hope that event is really good for you and everybody has a great time. So yeah, we're going to, and anybody who is watching, thank you for watching. We will have this episode archived on our website and on our YouTube channel. So if you came in late or if you had to leave, you can watch the full thing. And at that point, we'll add in that comments field any final pictures that are not here, because I don't know what you could do to make it any more incredible, but you're looking at it much closer than I am. So thank you for the time and thank you for the instruction. And when you get booked, I just want to know about it because I think that's inevitable too.
Yes, I will let you know. That's awesome.
Okay, good. All right. Thanks, everybody. And we will be back.
Watch
our website and watch our Facebook page, and we will announce any episodes that are coming up. If you have anybody that you think would have a great skill to share and a lesson that they can help teach like this, we would love to have you as a part of it and to join in. So I'm going to, there. Elizabeth can take a picture because we're going to smile.
She's afraid to smile with her dirty teeth now.
Oh my God. All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye, Lori. Thank you.